You know that feeling, right? Just this massive digital pileup of photos, videos, documents, backups.
Uh-huh.
Like, just keeps growing and trying to keep it all organized, safe, and, yeah, affordable. It can feel overwhelming. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into Azure Blob Storage. It's a cloud service designed specifically for that exact challenge. We've gathered some articles, research, even some internal notes to really get into its core parts: storage tiers, access levels, and those lifecycle rules.
Exactly. And our mission here is really to cut through the jargon, give you the essential knowledge. We want you to be able to build storage solutions that are, well, cost-effective, secure, and just plain efficient in the cloud. I think there's some real aha moments coming up, especially around scalability and how you can manage data much smarter.
Okay, blob storage still sounds a little out there. But based on our sources, it seems it's really about handling unstructured data. Can you maybe break down what that actually means and why is it such a big deal now compared to, say, older ways of storing things?
Yeah, absolutely. So unstructured data is basically anything that doesn't fit nicely into like a spreadsheet or a database. Think photos, videos, audio files, log files, backups, all that stuff. Azure Blob Storage is like this enormous, almost infinitely expandable digital warehouse for it all. Inside, your data pieces are called blobs, and you organize them into containers. Think of
Hmm.
containers like dedicated rooms in the warehouse, the big advantage. It tackles those old headaches, the huge costs of physical storage, the constant manual effort, and frankly, the security risks of having data scattered everywhere.
Okay, this huge digital warehouse concept makes sense. But you mentioned cost. How does it specifically tackle that? Because that's often a major draw, right? Optimizing storage spend.
That's really where the cleverness of the access tiers comes in. There are three main ones: hot, cool, and archive. Each one is designed to match how often you need the data with how much it costs to store it. So first, hot. This is for your really frequently accessed stuff. Static website content, media files people are constantly viewing. It's instantly available, but costs a bit more per gigabyte. Then there's cool. This is better for data you don't need every day, maybe application backups, analytics data you've processed. It's cheaper to store, but there's a slightly higher cost when you actually retrieve it. And finally, archive. This is for the long haul. Data you rarely touch, maybe for compliance reasons, stuff you might need years down the line. It's the absolute cheapest for storage, but, and this is really important, getting data back takes time. We're talking hours, potentially even days. Choosing the wrong tier, well, putting your main website images in archive would be a disaster for performance, like digging them out of deep freeze every visit.
Huh. Okay, yeah, that paints a very clear picture. So tiers handle the cost aspect, but cheap storage isn't much good if it's not secure. That leads us right into access control. How do these access levels work to keep sensitive data safe?
Right, security is paramount. Azure Blob Storage integrates really well with Azure Active Directory for what's called role-based access control, or RBAC. This means you can get super granular. You define exactly who can read, write, or delete what data. Very precise. On top of that, you have shared access signatures, SAS they're called. Think of them as temporary keys. You can generate a SAS token to give someone or an application limited access, maybe just read-only, to a specific file or container for a set amount of time. It's way better than the old all-or-nothing approach.
Yeah.
You can grant temporary access to just one report, not the whole database. But you really need to manage these carefully. Misconfigured access is a common way leaks happen.
That level of control does sound like a game changer, especially for governance. Okay, so this idea of set it and forget it data management, is that where lifecycle rules come in?
Yeah.
How do they actually automate things? I remember manually moving old files to archive drives. It was always a chore.
It absolutely is the set it and forget it part. Lifecycle rules are like having an automated manager for your storage. You set up rules based on things like how old a blob is, or maybe when it was last accessed. So for example, you could have a rule. After 30 days in hot, move this data to cool. Then maybe another rule. After 90 days in cool, move it to archive. Or even, if data hasn't been touched in a year, just delete it. This automates the whole process. No more manual dragging and dropping. It saves time, reduces errors, and continuously optimizes your costs. Just remember, these rules apply at the container level, so everything in that container follows the same rules.
Okay, makes sense. So if someone's just getting started with blob storage, what are maybe the top, say, 3 best practices they should implement right away?
Good question. First, security default. Always set access to private unless you have a very specific reason for public access. Start secure. Second, get those lifecycle rules set up early. Don't wait. Automate that tiering and potential deletion from day one to manage costs and clutter. And third, remember the archive tier trade-off. Fantastic cost savings, yes, but that retrieval delay is real. It's not for data you might need back quickly. Oh, and maybe a bonus fourth, watch out for costs from frequent tier transitions. Moving data back and forth too much can add up. Monitoring usage with tools like Azure Monitor is key.
Right. So pulling it all together for you listening, Azure Blob Storage with these tiers, the access controls, and the lifecycle rules, it really offers a scalable, pretty cost-effective, and secure way to handle all that unstructured data. Understanding these pieces really empowers you to build smarter, more robust solutions in the cloud.
And maybe just a final thought to leave you with. Think about how strategically using just these three things, tiers, access rules, lifecycle automation, could genuinely transform how you handle data storage. It's not just about saving a bit of money, it's about data integrity, security, and efficiency in a world that's just generating more and more data. What new possibilities could that unlock for you?